What's up everybody, and welcome back to another YouTube video. So today we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about the training program again. So obviously you guys saw my training program that I was doing straight after my competition. Now obviously I had my hernia surgery, then I had like a few weeks of just trying to get back into it, but now I'm ready to progress, and I'm in that position where we can kind of kick on a little bit with volume and start our phases of progression, especially with coming on blast now and using higher amounts of exogenous hormone. We can start to push the volume up a little bit more. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We've got a new setup, so we're going to run over a 6 to 7 week training cycle, and it's going to be a little bit different than we've done before. Something that I'm pretty excited about is just going through a different style of training. The goal here is going to be to start at a MEV, or a minimal effective volume, in order for us to elicit hypertrophy and grow. We're then going to slowly work that minimal effective volume up to a maximal recoverable volume. So you can see the gap here. We're basically just going to close this over time by adding a few sets here and there and progressing that over time. So I'm going to talk to you exactly how I'm going to do that. And we're going to use just the first session as an example. So you guys have already seen all of the sessions in the previous one. I'm going to talk about this specific one and how we're going to progress it forward. So we've got a push and triceps one here, push and triceps. So this is a baseline volume. You can see there is 2 sets for incline Smith, 2 sets for clavicula's, 2 sets for flat machine chest flies, and then there's a couple sets and 1 set of 3 sets with the cable crossbody triceps. So everything is at baseline 2 sets. All of those are to failure, and that's going to be run for 2 weeks, and we're going to basically run things in 2-week phases, and we're going to slowly acclimate things up. So immediately if we click from weeks 1 to 2 to the next phase, phase 2, we can see that there is a slight change in the volume shift. So the volume shift here, you've now got 3 sets of the clavicular flies. You've now got 3 sets of the cable flies. You've now got 3 and 4 sets on your triceps. Now we've very tactically picked the positions where we're going to progress our sets. They're going to be placed on exercises that aren't hugely energy demanding. So I'm not going to ramp up my bench press sets. I'm not going to ramp up my flat plate loaded press sets. I'm just going to slowly but surely upgrade and do a little bit more on my my clavicular flies and my lateral raises, because they're smaller muscles, smaller movements involved, less actual weight involved. So you still remain energy efficient throughout the same exercises. So we don't just stick everything to 3 and crumble. We stick an extra set on here and there to exercises that we know that we can handle. So you've got the extra volume in the form of those places just here, which is nice. I'm on this phase right now, so I'm just starting to feel that extra volume, and I definitely feel that progress for sure. And then as we progress it one more time here, you're going to see that there are a few more there are even more sets in here. Granted that the push volume is pretty much there. That's probably going to be a brutal amount of push volume for me. You've got, if we include the warm-up sets on the machine pec deck here, you've got 2, 4, 7, 9, 12 straight sets on my chest for 1 session. Bearing in mind I do this twice. So we're very much starting on like 8, then going to 10, then going to 12, and then pushing it really hard for that final week, which is here. But then as we scroll down, you can see that the arm training again and the lateral raises, the exercises that are energy efficient, are creeping up again. So then we've got 4 sets on our lateral raises, we've got 4 sets on our crossbody tricep extensions, and still hitting those 3 sets on the Atlantis press here. We also potentially, throw in some rest pauses. So where you see the little plus sets here, these will be rest pauses here on the Nautilus flat machine press, rather than adding, an extra set here, which will absolutely smash us. We just add a little bit of a rest pause here. Same with the incline Smith reverse band, a little bit of a rest pause here. Whereas we're just on these normal ones, there's no rest pauses, there's no plus marks here. So you can see that first week of progression, everything is 2, everything is straight sets. Except for the cross bodies. Then we push to 3 sets, and we push a little bit more volume in, and we do that for 2 more weeks. Then we push to 4 sets on a few exercises, but we also add in some intensity techniques. Very much this layer on approach over a 6-week period. Once we've achieved those, weeks 1 and 2, weeks 3 and 4, weeks 5 and 6 here, we've built up. We then move on to week 7. Now, what's week 7? Week 7, everything is taken back down to 1 set. 1 back off set, no heavy movements, just 1 single set in order to wash off all of that accumulative fatigue that you would have built up. We've got to remember that we're not manipulating reps in reserve here. We're not manipulating how hard we train here. The intensity is all out, and you can imagine with doing like 12 sets on your chest, like you're going to fatigue very quickly, and you're going to accumulate fatigue very quickly, much more quickly than if you were to do the same volume for an extended period of time. So the way that I previously trained has been set volume, minimum effective volume, maybe slightly above that, and you just train that for 10 to 16 weeks, and whatever happens, happens. When you need to deload, you deload. Whereas with this, we're very, very tactically overloading the body. We're pulling back for a week, allowing those adaptations to take place. We use that as our reset week of our volume. We'll then come back in and we'll start again at that low volume, but with progressions on those weeks, and we'll progress forward. So I'll obviously take you through these weeks as we go. I'll take you through the progressions as we go. I might even give you some examples of how much I've progressed on certain exercises, or how much volume I've progressed on certain exercises, maybe in a few weeks when I've done a few rotations, just so it makes sense. But it's going to be very, very similar for everything else. So even if we scroll down here to the posterior and the upper back day, just as an example here, just so you can get another visual cue. So, you know, phases 1 and 2 here, everything here, you know, there's just 2 sets here. There's 3 sets of the 45-degree hip extension here, because it's a very low impact movement. This used to be a deadlift. I've taken out the deadlifts again just because I don't want to aggravate my hernia just yet. Been having a few issues. I don't want to cause any more issues here. But again, everything down here is 2 sets, except for the arms. Then we creep forward, and you can see there's a few more 3 sets again in these very, very energy efficient movements. And as we move to that final one, everything could be here on 3 sets, plus those rest pauses again. So it's a very, very much an accumulative process. And then of course back down to the ones. So it's a very, very accumulative process, working between minimal effective volume and maximal recoverable volume, ultimately going to be undulating through this over the year. But I'm excited. It's something different, you know. I've never ever said that my way is the best way. I've never ever said that there's only one way to do this. There is multiple ways to do this. And something actually I used to do back in the day was try different things, try some drop sets, try some superset. Okay, granted I wouldn't do those now, but I used to love the thought of trying something new. Oh, I'm going to do German volume training. I don't want to go do German volume training, but I used to love trying different things. So this, for me, is something new that I can focus on, and I'm really, really excited to do so. We will take you through it. If you guys have any questions about progressing your volume, drop them down in the comments. If you guys have any questions about making your training program, drop them down in the comments. Otherwise, that is another sit-down video done. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. We'll see you very, very soon. It's grow season, baby. Let's go. Peace.